pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Councilor Hamilton,
Here.
Council President Whitaker,
Here.
Councilor Woods,
Here.
Councilor Daigle,
I'm here.
Councilor Sarnoski,
Here.
Councilor Smalley,
Here.
Mayor Summer.
Here. Any media present? Anyone wishing to speak before City Council today on any subject matter will need to fill out a speaker form and turn it into the recorder. Forms are available on the sign-in table in the back of the room. Please turn cell phones off or silence them during the meeting. Announcement for Zoom attendees only. If you're joining today's meeting via Zoom, you will automatically be muted upon entry. You'll need to identify yourself if your full name is not already attached to the device being used. You will be unable to unmute yourself. Public comments will only be taken if prior notification was given to the city recorder. Public comment. The purpose of this public comment period is to allow citizens to present information or raise issues regarding agenda items only. There will be a time at the end of the meeting for citizens to speak about off-agenda items. Time limit of 3 minutes per citizen shall apply. All citizens must come up to the microphone. The council appreciates the time taken by the public to provide comments and desires to hear your thoughts and concerns. However, to be able to run our meetings efficiently and to protect the rights of all involved, the city needs to utilize this time period as a period of receiving rather than providing information. Thank you for your understanding. I have a couple, and we'll start with Brett Brooks.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. I'll keep this short. You're probably tired of hearing from me at this point, but it's been 10 years since Sutherlin last voted on the cannabis issue. The election was decided by roughly 300 votes, not a landslide. In those 10 years, we have seen neighboring communities safely implement regulated dispensaries, creating jobs, generating tax revenue, and providing access for residents who rely on cannabis as a medicine. Just as importantly, I want to add that Sutherlin controls what this can look like. We can establish standards for signage like Winston, ask our operators not to use cannabis imagery outside the building or on their billboards. And we can also prioritize businesses that invest back into our community through local partnerships and nonprofit support. This is also the most fiscally responsible time to let voters decide. Placing this measure on the November ballot will cost approximately $4,000. Waiting and pursuing this later will likely cost taxpayers significantly more. I stand before you today as a veteran, a father of 3 children raised in Sutherlin, a community volunteer, and someone who has proudly called this city home for more than 20 years. I respectfully ask you to vote yes, not because you support cannabis, but because you trust the people of Sutherlin to make this decision for themselves. If you trust the people of Sutherlin to elect you, you should trust them to vote on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Jerry Mabry.
Thank you, Mayor. Jerry Mabry, and I reside in the Timber Valley Park up here. And I'm gonna start, God, they must have a lot of midgets in Oregon. I'll do that first, what your subject is. And I'm gonna give you a example of what cannabis can do in a gummy form. I was a whiskey drinker, and I thought, you know something, I need to stop drinking and take some of these little gummies. It sounds a whole lot better on the internet, right? So I called the number, and it's actually a Canadian company. The little lady answered the phone, and I told her what I wanted to do, and she says, do you have any experience with cannabis? I said, no, not really. I said, but you know, darling, I'm from Texas, and we drink a lot of whiskey. And she says, well, we've got three levels of strengths of these things. I said, 1, 2, and 3. I said, well, give me that big one. So she sent me the big one, okay? So one evening, I'm sitting in my recliner, and I take one of these little gummies under my tongue and let it melt. About 15 minutes later, my legs start getting numb. No, that's not bad. You know, it said it's gonna relax me, right? It did. Okay, then a few minutes later, my hips went numb. About 15 minutes. This is all true now. About 15 minutes later, the involuntary breathing stopped. So I had to force myself to breathe. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm fixing to die. If this keeps going this way, I'm gonna die. And I told my wife, Angie, I said, baby, you might have to call the ambulance and come get me. And she said, well, just wait a few more minutes. So I waited. Yes, I have a lot of life in me. So I wait about 10 more minutes. The worst part of this happens. Think about what would be the worst thing when you can't walk and you can't stand up.
Yeah.
I got a wee. Okay, so that's kind of my story about cannabis. I'm gonna say, if you're gonna go down that road, get the number one, don't get the number. It'll help you out, okay? Now, I got one more subject. Can I talk about the golf cart thing, or do I need to wait on that?
You got 30 seconds.
I got 30 seconds.
And since it was on last month, I'll let this interrupter.
Yeah, the chief back there denied our ability to bring our golf carts down here. The only thing I can tell you, Bubba, is if you didn't have them big guns and them hand grenades hanging off that basket, you'd be getting a good Texas ass whooping. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jared, do you have any left over?
Kelly.
I have to follow that?
Yeah.
Oh, my. Okay, Kelly Geyer, Pine View. Being a public servant is a thankless job. It requires great sacrifice, from time spent on numerous committee meetings to making decisions that sometimes deviates from one's own personal feelings. It is sometimes an effort to put those personal values and feelings aside to act in the best interest of all of our community and allow their voices to be heard at the ballot box. Leadership requires great courage. I trust that our elected public servants will show that courage and agree to put on the November ballot the measure for a cannabis dispensary, as well as to collect the 3% tax on the sales. That fulfills your greatest leadership role that you were entrusted with, letting your constituents' voices be heard. I thank you all for your time and your leadership.
Thank you. Any other public comments on agenda? Under presentation, employee recognition of service, Chief Mills.
Wait, was I the wrong one?
Wrong next.
I have hearing aid, so.
Who's that?
I'm next.
You're next. I'll let you go. It'll be quick.
I was excited.
Seems like this is the funny spot. Mayor, Council, Troy Mills, Chief of Police. I just want to take a minute to recognize one of your employees for their 15 years of dedicated service to the city of Sutherlin. Officer Matt Barrett. Come up here, Matt. And as you work here longer, you have to wear glasses, so. Just a little bit about Matt. He is currently a master officer and holds an advanced certificate through DPSST. He's a firearms instructor, defensive tactics instructor, field training officer. He's an ORPAT instructor, and even held a law enforcement dual credential as a Homeland Security agent as part of a child exploitation and abuse apprehension team. He was also part of a joint tactical response team, otherwise known as SWAT, throughout his career here, to name a few. It is my pleasure to acknowledge him and thank him for 15 years of dedicated service to the city of Sutherlin. Very much.
And Officer Barrett, I'd like to present this certificate and thank you for your 15 years of service. Appreciate it.
I just want to thank everyone, the council and chief, mayor, city manager. It's been an honor to serve the community for 15 years. I started here. My plan has always been to finish here.
whenever that may be. So it's been a pleasure and I can look forward to continuing to serve the city.
I didn't know you had a SWAT guy. I take it all back.
Wastewater plug-in operator award, Aaron. And Aaron.
Hi, everybody. Aaron Swan, Public Works. We're here today to give award to Aaron Atencio for Operator of the Year in the state in wastewater collections. And it's a great thing that we just gave one of these to Justin Nunley. So to have two of these guys in one department is just fantastic. And to hear Steve Lush is here from the operator section to give the award. I'm going to say just a few things real quick, and then Jody, his supervisor, is going to say a couple of things, and then Steve will be up to give the award. Aaron's been here about 5 years, and as you know, we're a small town, so they all have to be cross-trained. They have to be able to do both water and wastewater. And after a short stint in water, he's kind of settled in wastewater, and he still does both. But he's found his niche and his passion in wastewater, and specifically in the collections part of wastewater, where he deals with inflow and infiltration. And as many cities do, we have significant struggles there. So his passion really dovetails with our needs, and it's awesome that we have a guy like this that's willing to put in that kind of time and effort and try to make things better here. So I will hand this over to Jody, and he'll say a few words.
Hello. Our town we seem to have a lot of I inflow and infiltration. In the winter time, our flows come up quite a bit, and it can cause problems at certain areas in town or at the Everett Street lift station at the wastewater plant. And Aaron came to me about a year or so ago and asked if he can kind of take a lead role in our I program, and I was glad to hear him say that. And he has organized a lot of our records for us, and he's looked at those records and see where maybe we have problems around town with infiltration. And he's worked closely with Dyer. The last couple weeks, he's worked night shift during our the contractors came here and did some cleaning and TV and inspecting our collection line down 138. And he's worked night shift running pumps by hand, and he's been really dedicated. Yeah, he goes around town lifting manholes, and he just does a really great job, and I'm glad to have Aaron. And Justin, he wrote something about Aaron. Justin actually put him in for this award. I'm glad he did, because Aaron, he really deserves it. Has done a good job. Aaron has taken a lead role in the collection system. He has spent many hours studying maps of the collection system, driving around the city, opening manholes, identifying issues that contribute to inflow and infiltration, communicating with the division supervisor on his findings, allowing for repairs to be made. Aaron spent many hours clearing manholes to allow for TVing of the collection lines. He spent a couple weeks working night to ensure that the process went smoothly, running Everett lift station manually and turning it off to keep flows down during the process. City's really fortunate to have someone like Aaron. He just passed his collections 2 test earlier in the year. He's passed his wastewater 2 test, so he's really motivated. He really wants to step into the lead role, and Justin moves up. So Sutherlin can look forward to having good operators in our program for quite a while. So I'll hand it over to Steve.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing me to come to do this. It really is a privilege to be able to come and recognize somebody. Especially, this is the second one. We recognized Justin last year. This year we're going to recognize Aaron. And one of the things that has been said already is that in these smaller communities, they wear multiple hats. And so I really like to come to these because I want the council and the mayor and the citizens to know that you guys are really lucky to have the employees that you do have here in Sutherlin. I see a lot of the smaller communities they're actually, I call them training facilities because they train there and then they leave somewhere else. But you have long-term employees, even with your police. I hear, is it Officer Mills or Chief Mills, the officer that got recognized, he wants to finish his career here. And so you guys are doing something right. And the thing that impressed me with Aaron, we have meetings once a month and we get together and talk. And Aaron is always trying to figure out the way things should work. And so he's always asking questions on how we handle things. My day job is for a wastewater collection system for Roseburg. And so he has talked to me quite often about different things that we do there and how he can do things here. And so he's trying to figure it out and he's always learning. And I think that as long as you are an employee, you should never stop learning, right? You should always try to learn something new. And he does that. And it really is an honor to be able to present this award for the wastewater collection system operator of the year to Aaron this year. And so Aaron. Oh, sorry.
One more. Stage it.
You got a better camera.
Yeah, you can point while you're doing it. There you go.
Thank you.
I was the Oregon Region Director, but I'm no longer. But I did submit his application up there, and he has been chosen as the Oregon representative as well this year. So not just for our.
Thank you.
That's all you're getting out of it.
But before we move on, I have just one more piece to that. And Jody Gardner, the wastewater supervisor, is a fantastic operator in his own right. But what's great about him is he fosters this culture and environment out there where these guys want to be there and they want to learn, and he gives them enough information, but he has them learn on their own as well, because you kind of have to do that, and it's just the right balance, and it's a fantastic place to work. They want to come to work there, and it's awesome. It's awesome, and so I'm really happy with that wastewater department. Yeah, they're great.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
I want to say that Jody has been with us for a very long time. And his dad was with us, and I got to look around and I think, I'm probably the only one that remembers Joe Gardner. Do you, Kurt?
Yeah.
But his dad worked here for years and years. And then he worked for us at the community center for years after he retired. And so Jody comes from a long line of city employees. And the other thing I wanted to say was, I can't believe Aaron's been here 5 years and I'm just meeting him today.
He keeps a low profile.
Yeah, congratulations.
So we're happy to say that Aaron is now a resident because he just moved into town a couple months ago, right? Yeah. Is there a state presentation for that award? Is there a when and where is that?
It's going to be at the Pacific Northwest Clean Water Association. It's in Spokane this year.
Oh,
and
are we paying to send him to that?
He was presented in front of probably about 800 or 900 people. I think.
That's cool.
Supervisor's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Right. I think the mayor should go.
When is that?
I will be there to make sure that we yell from the audience.
September 13th through 16th.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Well, congratulations. Okay, on to consent agenda, June 29th, 2026, city council minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. I'll second.
I have a motion by Hamilton, a second by Woods.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? The vote.
Counselor Hamilton,
Was first last time.
that's good, Sean, wasn't it?
I.
Council President Whitaker,
Aye.
Counselor Woods,
Aye.
Counselor Daigle,
Aye.
Counselor Sarnoski,
Aye.
Counselor Smalley.
Aye.
Mayor Summer,
Aye.
motion carries.
Under council business, ordinance 1110, repealing and replacing subchapter 3.16 and referring ordinance to November 3rd ballot, first reading title only. City recorder.
An ordinance repealing and replacing subchapter 3.16 of the Sutherlin Municipal Code to impose a tax on the sale of marijuana items by marijuana retailers and referring ordinance to November 3rd, 2026 ballot.
Staff report.
Mayor and council, this ordinance repeals the city's outdated marijuana tax ordinance and replaces it with provisions that comply with current Oregon law. The previous ordinance included a 10% tax, however, state law now only allows local marijuana taxes up to 3%. If the ballot measure proposed in resolutions later in this meeting are approved by voters in November, and if a marijuana retailer locates in Sutherlin, the tax could provide an additional source of revenue to support city services. This is the first reading, with the second reading coming at the August 10th meeting.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution, or excuse me, ordinance number. Ordinance
1110.
1110. It's on the wrong line, so. Repealing and replacing the subchapter 3.16 and referring ordinance to November 3rd ballot as presented.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Hamilton and a second by Sarnoski.
Any discussion? Vote.
Counselor Hamilton,
Aye.
Council President Whitaker,
Aye.
Counselor Woods,
Aye.
Counselor Daigle,
Aye.
Counselor Sarnoski,
Aye.
Counselor Smalley.
Aye.
Mayor Summer,
Aye.
motion carries.
Under Seismic CMGC contract amendment for Sutherlin Police Department Phase 2, staff report.
Mayor, Council, Christy Gilbert, Community Development. So this is a similar process that we did on phase 1. We're now amending S&B's contract to include the construction portion of the work. The first part was for the engineering component to get those accurate cost estimates. We had approximately 87 various bids from all different types of contractors that were received, so that was really good. And so we're asking to amend this contract to $1,733,285.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Seismic contract amendment for Sutherlin Police Department Phase 2 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Sarnoski and a second by Hamilton.
I think you should potential conflict. Yeah. Do we have any discussion?
So what are we amending it from?
So the original contract was the small portion of the contract for just the engineering component that they participated in. And so this is the large chunk of it. It was like $13,000 was the original contract, but this is through the findings of fact that we established for this, what's called the CMGC construction management process. It amends that contract in order to include now the construction phase. So they will oversee, S&B James will oversee the construction portion of the contract.
Okay.
You don't have to do it now.
Oh, potential conflict is all I was going to say.
Oh. Couldn't read your lips, I'm sorry. Does Lisa have a conflict?
Yeah.
I don't think so because, no, yeah, it's just.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
I was
okay,
asking
sorry.
the question.
Okay,
I couldn't read your lips. What are you talking?
Sign
okay,
it next
any other discussion? Let's vote.
Counselor Hamilton,
I,
Council President Whitaker,
Aye.
Counselor Woods,
Aye.
Counselor Daigle,
Aye.
Counselor Sarnoski,
Aye.
Counselor Small.
Aye.
Mayor Summer.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under resolution 2026.14, referring measure to the voters to repeal chapter 8.18, staff report.
Mayor and Council, resolution 2026.14 would refer to Sutherlin voters the question of whether to repeal chapter 8.18 of the Sutherlin Municipal Code, which currently prohibits medical and recreational marijuana facilities within the city limits. The prohibition was approved by voters in 2016. While the council has the authority to repeal the ban without an election, this resolution would allow the community to decide whether marijuana businesses should be permitted to operate in Sutherlin, subject to state regulations and locally adopted time, place, and manner restrictions. If approved, the measure would appear on the November 3rd general election ballot at an estimated cost of approximately $2,000.
Do I have a motion?
I move for that we approve resolution 2026.14.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Whitaker and a second by Sarnoski.
Any discussion?
Let the people vote.
Yeah.
Whether they show up and vote.
Okay, let's vote.
Counselor Hamilton,
I,
Council President Whitaker,
Aye.
Counselor Woods,
Aye.
Counselor Daigle,
Aye.
Counselor Sarnoski,
Aye.
Counselor Small, Mayor Summer.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Resolution 2026.15, referring measure imposing 3% tax on the sale of marijuana items. Staff report.
Mayor and Council, resolution 2026.15 would refer to the Sutherlin voters a measure imposing a 3% local tax on retail marijuana sales, which is the maximum rate allowed under Oregon law. Because marijuana facilities are currently prohibited within the city, no tax would be collected at this time. However, if approved by voters, the tax would take effect if the city's marijuana prohibition is repealed in the future and licensed marijuana retailers are allowed to operate within Sutherlin. Adoption of this resolution does not authorize marijuana businesses or change the current prohibition. It simply allows voters to decide whether the city should have local marijuana tax in place should retail sales be permitted in the future. The estimated cost of placing the measure on the ballot is approximately $2,000.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution. As presented.
I'll second.
I did not get the second.
It is.
Okay.
Debbie.
All right. I got a motion by Smalley and a second by Hamilton.
Any discussion? By group.
I do.
Okay.
Say something. First, as council knows, we received an email. Suggesting that Brad, that's been our spokesperson that started this, was making money from this passing. I found that to be false. And Brett, if you want to say anything about that, is that okay if
I'm actually quite offended at the fact that somebody would email you. I've had conversations with her. She knows the full story of who I am. And that this is completely on my own time. I'm a volunteer of the city and I'm offended that she would even email me to say that and to insinuate that I'm doing this for personal gain. She knows my name, she knows my story, she knows my family, but she decided to spend that. This comes from the same person that's posting my name online. And that same person that's slandering every single one of you on the council. So I find her words very thin and with no merit.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
And then the other thing was, it was suggested or asked if there would be more criminal activity. And I don't know if Troy wants to say anything about that, but I found that. And it's funny that I found this from 2020 and why I had it so long, I don't know. But it was letters, and I think they came to us, obviously. But it was from Myrtle Creek, and they're, they allowed it after, and, this said they hired over 40 full-time employees, generating 3% city tax revenue, which totaled, and this is the first year they had it, $53,870. And at 6 months, it was already up to $48,150. So, and it's got other stuff in here if anybody wants to look at that, but. So those two questions were answered, and Troy sent us an email this morning saying the same thing that he found with the people that he discussed it with the cities that he discussed it with.
That there was no increase in criminal
Right.
activity.
Troy?
Yes. That's all. Any other discussion? Okay, let's vote.
Counselor Hamilton,
Aye.
Council President Whitaker.
Aye.
Counselor Woods,
Aye.
Counselor Bagel,
Aye.
Counselor Sarnoski,
Aye.
Counselor Smalling.
Aye.
Mayor Summer.
Aye.
Motion carries.
On to reports. Any reports? On the city manager report.
Okay, so I'm gonna hand you guys, I emailed you guys this morning, and it's just the League of Oregon Cities, if you just pass those down. Michelle already returned hers today. And if you, it's just the League of Oregon Cities priorities, and they're just wanting to know, you know, get an idea of what they want cities to lobby for at the next legislative meeting. So you know, take your time. If you get on your email, there's actually links to all those, and you can click on those links, and then there's better explanations about what those are. So I've also asked staff to do the same thing, and their priorities to just to get those League of Oregon Cities. And this is coming because the League of Oregon Cities sent an email asking us to play a video at City Council. I'm like, I'm not playing a video, but I'm just going to give you the info. The League of Oregon Cities Fall Conference is October 15th to the 17th. Registration begins on the 22nd. In the video, it does say that if you want to attend that the conference, which is in Salem, so you probably should register early, register as soon as you can, because I guess the hotel fills up. The Oregon Mayors Association Annual Conference is August 6th to the 8th in Ashland. If anyone attends, if anyone plans on attending. I've got a few things to say about our parks. I think our park, you know, it really takes a beating, right, Aaron? I mean, you guys do a very good job of keeping that thing up in the summer. And it's really going to take a beating this weekend on Throwdown. If anyone, I know that Terry Brock and his crew, they're looking for volunteers. If anyone wants to volunteer, contact Terry and Lisa. You know, they could use them. And then the only other thing I have is we have football camp this week. So yeah, I do coach football, and we have 5 teams coming to Sutherlin today, and they're staying in Sutherlin all week long. And they sleep at our school. They sleep in the gymnasiums, and they also sleep on the field. They'll sleep on the baseball field. That's what they've done in the past. And they're staying until they'll leave Thursday morning. And we have events scheduled all week long, late into the night, and we're feeding them. You know, it's a huge fundraiser for our football team. So if you see a bunch of kids wandering through town this week, it's because we have 5 other football teams that are staying in town. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Remember, monthly meeting time is limited. Please ask questions or make statements that are likely to benefit the group. Individual comments and questions that can be handled on a one-on-one basis should be handled outside the meeting. So for council comments, we'll start with Councilor Hamilton.
I want to give, of course, Music Off Central kudos. I wasn't able to be here the week of the 4th of July, I was camping. And, in fact, one of my friends sent me a video of the band, and the band was a huge hit. And, I'm told that there was close to 6,000, well over 5,000 people there, so that's awesome. Last Thursday night was another great crowd, and, the band was good. People were up dancing and just having a heck of a good time. And I want to point out here too, because it was pointed out to me, which I knew, but you know, I'm not really the lead person anymore. But Joe Barnes is the one that started Music Off Central 14 years ago. And there was another guy, Scott was his name, Block, I think he said. No, I'm sorry, I forgot. But they were involved in that, and that started in kind of the corner of the park by the train, and it was on a flatbed, and it was all local music. So look what it's grown into. So what's happening now is this is our 5th year, and it's been awesome. It's been an awesome ride, and they continue to do great things, and so I'm really proud of them. Also, I want to thank the Lions for putting out the flags. The downtown area looks awesome, and I'm sure it did with flags, even though I wasn't here to see it. The flowers are gorgeous, so thank Public Works for putting them up and taking care. And I want to thank all the sponsors who helped put up those flowers because they're gorgeous. Anyway, that's all.
Council President Whitaker.
Well, she took all the things that I wanted to know. But I think Music Off Central is wonderful. And the people of this community really enjoy it. And they turn out for it. And I see the baskets getting passed around, and I saw our city manager out there passing one around, and I have no idea how much money is collected, but I would assume that it's probably pretty good. And the parks, I think our parks are great. And of course, I'm on the Parks Committee, so I wouldn't say anything else, but Aaron and his crew, especially Sam.
Yeah.
Close.
I always call her.
New helper, right?
Yeah, and she's got a new helper now, and it's amazing that those 2 ladies can go out and take care of all of the parks in this city. Mowing and pulling weeds and weed eating and doing all of that sort of thing and keeping them looking so good. So thank you very much for them, and pass on.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm done.
Can I just add one thing? I want to mention Brett is on Music Off Central, and is this your 2nd year? Third?
Third, yeah.
Of doing the music, getting the bands for us.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give him kudos.
That band this last week was really good.
It was fun.
Good. Councilor Woods.
Okay, our grandbaby was here last week, for those of you who didn't get to meet her. And so it was amazing to let them see what a smaller community can offer, so that we got to experience Ford's Pond and Cooper Creek and Music Off Central. They didn't get to stay for the rodeo. They got to see all the flags here for 4th of July. So all of those things that, you know, the smaller communities get to, all of these wonderful things that our community presents. And it's just a beautiful thing, because they're coming from San Diego, which all those things don't exist in the bigger communities. And so they get to see these just wonderful things that our community offers. So thank you for Music Off Central for just being such a forefront and presenting such an amazing event. It's just been really wonderful. The rodeo was absolutely amazing. It was really good. The rodeo was pretty awesome. The bull riders, that was awesome.
Yes.
Seeing the flags out just makes me want to cry every time I see them. Just warms my heart. I want to also give a shout out to one of my favorites, Bo. I love your reminders. Thank you so much for the text message reminders about everything going, hey, did you get this? Did you get this? You're amazing. And then city staff as well. This one's for my brain just shut off. Powell, Colleen.
She's walked in, she's right back there.
Of course, Colleen. Thank you so much. Just being able to walk in and say, hey, I need help with something, and just being able to help out. That's amazing. And then also, I was doing some late night work at my building about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had someone like trying to get into the building, and I was by myself, and I immediately was like, kind of freaked out a little bit. And so I called the police, and they were there. I'm not kidding you, in 20 seconds. I'm not kidding, 20 seconds. They showed up and it was all good. So I was very happy at the response time that we have from our department. It was so incredibly fast.
Which number did you call? I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding, go into that.
Well,
You called your husband, right?
I did, and then he called someone else. But yes, it was a very quick response. But yeah, it was like 20 seconds. So, but yes, either way, it was great, and that would have been a response regardless if it was me or anyone else. So it doesn't matter. We have an amazing department that makes sure that our city is safe and cared for. I've seen them respond, and they respond so professionally, and I just can't say enough about our departments. So, I think that's it.
Right, thank you. Counselor Daigle.
Well, the bad thing first, I've noticed a lot of more homeless people around lately. And I noticed there was a guy out by the freeway begging. And I thought we passed an ordinance against people giving money to.
There is one, yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow.
So next time, call cop. I said, next time, call cop.
Yeah.
I'll be there in 30 seconds.
Yep. 20
seconds.
30, that's a little fun.
Anyhow, the good thing is, I really like that we're identifying these employees that are here and do such a great job. And you know what? And that's a great thing about this small town. I really love living in a small town because everything is so personal, and then most of the time it's really positive. We've done a lot for this community. It's amazing what's going on around here. And I hope that we maybe identify those employees that are kind of in the background and they're never going to get any recognition. It'd be kind of nice to give them some, and I think that's a benefit of being on a job. For maybe they get paid more in a bigger city, but they get our appreciation more here, I think. And actually, that's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks. Counselor Sarneski.
No.
Everybody already covered it.
Yeah.
Good.
Covered a lot of ground.
Counselor Smalley.
You guys covered it all, but congrats to Aaron, of course, on his award. And special congrats to Barrett. I mean, I've known him since he's been here. He coached my boys. He brought them home in the car before. He's taking care of us all of our family. Doing good or bad? Good. Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, wrestling and all that stuff. So yeah, he's a huge part of our family and our city. So yeah, congrats to him, and yeah, that's about it.
Thanks. Yes, I wanted to congratulate Officer Barrett and Aaron for their awards. I really think it's a great thing to acknowledge our employees for their tenure and their outstanding achievements. So that's great. And I also wanted to acknowledge what a wonderful event the Stampede was, and the parade in the morning. The parade, may not be as big as our electric light parade, but it's getting there, and it's fun to watch all the girls and the horses and the fire engine always, and it gets a little bigger each year. And so I encourage people to come out and watch the parade, because it's fun for everybody involved. And yes, the Stampede was wonderful. I just love those bull riders. And the throwdowns this weekend, I encourage everybody to come out. It's one of the biggest events and it's so much fun with all the barbecue and cornhole. And I guess this year they're having a blueberry dessert competition, so that's something new we can get involved in. And yes, Music Off Central is outstanding this year. I hear a lot of people talking what a great lineup we have, so much better than anywhere else in the county. So I think that we're really known for that. So that's wonderful to hear. And I think that's everything I have for this time. So we'll move on for public comment. The purpose of public comment is to allow citizens to present information regarding items off the agenda. A time limit of 3 minutes per citizen shall apply. And I have one from Kim Etter. Is she here? No.
She was gonna join virtually, but I don't see her on there.
Okay,
Mayor, can I sneak one in real quick?
yes.
On behalf of Music Off Central.
And could you fill out a form when you're done?
Yes, I will. I promised the crew at Music Off Central that I'd come and ask the Parks Department if we could hold off on watering on Wednesday night. I know this last time it was a little bit overwatered because we have the throwdown coming this weekend. Totally understand. I think the grass looks amazing, but I think we're treading on that where it's getting dangerous. It was really bogged down and quite a huge area. If we have 6,000 people show up, people running through. I see elderly people trying to walk through that wet area and are afraid they're going to slip and fall. So more than just a nuisance, it's becoming a safety hazard, I believe. There's a big area right over there by our sponsored tent. I know you know where it's at. So I just kindly request that we can maybe hold off on watering or water a little less on Wednesdays before we have our concerts on Thursday.
You bet.
Say who's gonna be here.
Sleepless truckers.
Oh, sure.
Oh, it's a country band, right?
Yes.
Yes,
They're really good.
really good. Okay, cool.
But if you had Yachty by Nature, could you also then with that swampy spot, just have like a, you know, a sailboat?
Sailboat, okay, that's good. I like that. Sure, we need them back. Okay,
Can I do a minute?
yes,
Be
and
quick.
fill out a form, please.
Yes, I will.
So Brandon, you know, all that kind of stuff. Again, Sutherlin is wonderful. The Music Off Central, outstanding. We got to keep that stuff going. I wanted to mention our sister city, Oakland. Sutherlin and Oakland do a lot of things together. A lot of you might not be aware of. It's amazing how much the two cities have really started to move together. And we owe big thanks to Connie Riley, who owns the Ice House out there. She is doing a bang-up job putting that little town on the map. So we need to support that place. I saw a lot of people out there from Sutherlin. They came out to the 4th of July parade. That was a pull it together at the last minute affair, but it was really good. A lot of people showed up for that. And I just want to briefly mention that on the 25th of July in Oakland, they're having their Vanity Fair function out there again. And this year we're going to add cars to the mix. So if you have an old car you want to sell, preferably, get a hold of me, bring it out there. We're adding it to the mix. We'd love to have you come out there. Remember, Oakland is only a song away.
Thank you. Okay, this time we will be adjourning. And we will be meeting for executive session called under ORS 192.6660 or 6602I to review and evaluate the employment related performance of the chief executive officer of any public body, a public officer, employee, or staff member who does not request an open hearing. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room. We will allow 5 minutes for the room to clear. Thank you.